hello to you. And here I am, Sarah Burns, on this beautiful fall day. The leaves are blowing off the trees, and there's this nakedness afoot when the plant world, as the energy of the plants are descending into the roots or completely dying altogether. And this time of putting our gardens to bed, this time of the thinning of the veils between the worlds, where the unseen connections that we have to our ancestors is becoming more palpable. And to honor this time of fall, this time of Samhain, I wanted to share a story. And this is a story that happened to me. I was received a soul retrieval session from a friend, Christy Garvey, very impulsively, as I was just visiting Topanga. And something that came from the story that I feel really called to share is the lesson that I got. So, the gist of the story is I was exploring my relationship to money and my relationship to where that stems in my ancestral line, and if there was some piece of my soul that had kind of been left in some way in the past or in past lives. And so in this journey, I was taken to my grandparents. I was taken to see my grandmother, Emmeline Burns, and my grandfather, Tony Burns, who have deceased. And when I reached them, I realized that I really wanted to give them an offering, that I felt like I hadn't fully honored them with like a proper offering, because, and sometimes that offering can be just even my attention, realizing that I did leave home when I was quite young and I haven't been back to the East Coast for a long time. I think since I was like 12 or 13 years old. And so what was happening was I realized that it felt like my grandparents had this piece for me that I was seeking, yet I didn't feel like I deserved it. I didn't feel like I had earned receiving that piece for myself. And so, in this moment of greeting my ancestors and feeling that I'd come empty handed, I kind of just felt into what is the greatest offering I could give them. And as I was sitting there and they were watching me, I started thinking of my life. And I started witnessing, thinking of my daughter and my husband, and witnessing the life that I've created here, our farm, the community that I have here, and all the beautiful loves that have touched my life, and just starting to take inventory of what I'm grateful for in my own life and the experiences that I've had. And as I was going through this process of connecting with what I was really grateful for and really kind of proud of, like feeling proud, like I have come a long way to feel this landed and grounded in this life. And as I was feeling that, it became so real. It became so clear that all those years where I had left home and had just gone on my wild, transient traveling ways, that all those years were actually imperative to getting me here. That where I'm sitting now in my life and the decisions that I've made to get here were part of this great offering. And so I realized in that moment that sometimes in life, the greatest offering we can give is our life, is how we're living our life, especially to our ancestors, that how we live our life and the life that we create is the offering we give them, is the greatest offering that we can give them, because that's what they've lived for, and that's what I live for is, living so that the next generations will have at least a better foundation to build a healthy, thriving, regenerative life in, and be part of a regenerative, thriving world and culture, and one child at a time, helping plant those seeds and how they choose to live their life. But for me, as I felt that, and I was able to offer that to my grandparents, and I was able to be really honest, saying, I did leave, and I wasn't able to be there for you. I wasn't able to have all these moments in person with you, but what I was doing when I wasn't with you was doing what I needed to do to build this lush environment for your bloodline, for the next generations to have that foundation in themselves and in their bones to build on. So they accepted that. And they were able to give me a beautiful piece of my soul back. And that's a whole other story. But I wanted to share that, and I wanted to just remind you to explore how your life can be an offering to your ancestors. And if there are aspects of your life that really don't feel like they are at the caliber you wish to offer, if there's something that feels out of alignment or something you're not able to stand behind that you might be living, or a way of life that you might be living that perhaps you don't really feel proud of, I encourage you to just step back and to remember that you have the ability to take the steps and brave the transition into the life that you are seeking. And sometimes that transition is not as not as sometimes those transitions towards creating a life that you are proud to offer back, they might not be as obvious until you've taken those leaps, small or big. So I just share that with you today, and I hope you have a blessed time in this transition. Aloha.